Good morning. First thing in the morning, we have to deal with the ills of society.
The women and children from the room. Moments later, board member Ginger Littleton sneaks behind Duke and tries to knock the gun from his hand with her purse.
If he wanted to kill her at that moment, he could have, and he didn't.
Duke let her leave again and turned his attention back to the men at the school board, namely the superintendent, Bill Husfeld, who somehow had the composure to reason with the gunman.
Here's what I don't want to happen. I don't want anybody to, just listen to me for a minute. I don't want anybody to get hurt. I've got a feeling that what you want is the cops come in and kill you because you're mad. Because you say you're going to die with that. But why? This isn't worth it. This is a problem. Please don't. Please don't. Please.
Police say Duke fired at least 14 rounds, and every single...
Here's a man that goes into a school board meeting and he fires 14 shots, but he doesn't kill anybody. He wants somebody to kill him. See, this is what I would call 30-day existence program. You're taking jobs from people. You are closing departments that are very important for normal citizens about getting education because you are already rich. The people you represent are rich. And this is how a monarchy actually operates. What it is that people are on a 30-day existence program. Okay? Most people live paycheck to paycheck. So if you put enough stress and you take the food off their table, they're going to react. And I believe that is what this system, this white supremacy system is trying to actually unleash on even their own. Because I don't think we've been paying attention to what the real goal is. See, now Republicans control the Supreme Court, the legislature, and also the executive office. The only thing they need now is for law enforcement and the military to join in their evil plan. But we don't see that because if he gets this country into martial law, he can get a chance to do whatever he wants. And I think that people need to pay attention to the end game. Okay? You worrying about DEI, and you should be. You worrying about closing the Department of Education, you should be. We should be thinking about talking to our policemen, CIA, FBI people, and finding out where they are in this fight. Because it seems that they want this country to wind up in civil war with the military being on their side along with every other government entity against its own people. Now, it might sound ludicrous, but just look at what's going on. Representative Al Green stands up and talks about you're not going to take away Medicare and Medicaid and do Social Security matter to them? No. They've gone into it once already. So now it's on the chopping block too, because like I said, the rich, why would they care about the poor? They're not going to use their money to pay no debts. They're going to take money from you, just like the legislature does. Okay? Now, see, at one time, everybody was walking around talking about being an American, USA. But black people are no longer the only ones victimized by the United States. This 30-day existence program that I talk about means when you can't pay your mortgage or your rent for 30 days, you're not far from Walmart basket. This is what they want. They want chaos. so they can come in and restore order with the power of every department and government entity behind them. Then you have no recourse. You have no way to fight. And these people who will be fighting against you will be your own sons and daughters, uncles, fathers maybe, mothers. We can't see the forest for the trees. I tell you this, America has a history that they try to forget. But I was reading the African timeline, and this is not just about African people, because you think African people are black people, that you consider black people in America. But you all have the same root because you're part of the human race. So in effect, you all are Africans. But I want to read something to you. Are you an American? When your forefathers, Europeans, got 20 acres for a male slave, free from the government, the United States. They got 10 acres for bringing a female slave into America. And what do you think they were bringing slaves in here for? Now, why do you think they were giving land away? Because this country had to be built up, and who was going to build it up? I already stated that in 1641, Massachusetts, they permitted Indian slavery. Okay? But do you remember when they gave immigrants free land, even though Africans had been here long before the Europeans came? But they were also brought here by Europeans. See, this is the part they don't talk about. Africans have been going all over the globe because we already know history, but we don't talk about history because it's too painful for those people thinking that they had African ancestors. They put a stake in the ground. They gave away land to immigrants. All you had to do is put a stake in the ground and you got a certain amount of land. The great land giveaway. They did this to occupy the country and to build the country up, because if they did not, they were going to have wars with different countries like France, Britain, all of that, because everybody was going all over the globe, stating that they were going to stake their claim to this global land, accrual of land. Now, everybody thinks that it was just Africa. No, they went all over the globe. And so they needed people sometime to populate that land. First of all, to fight the Indians, but to lay claim to it so that we could say, hey, this is American soil, this is Britain soil, France, this. Yeah, they went into a room and decided to divvy up Africa, but they did that for the whole world. Now, Frederick Douglass spoke for the Chinese in 1882. 1882, there was a Chinese Exclusion Act, but nobody recognizes that. Black people spoke up about civil rights, walked and fought and spilled blood, but more people who were non-black or African profited by our sacrifices. Our ancestors sacrificed for us, and we can't even sacrifice and make that great sacrifice that they gave. We can't further their cause because we're too selfish. There's only two types of people. I say selfish and community-minded, but it's people who give a damn and people who don't. And the people who do give a damn, that's sitting down and doing nothing, you're worse than the people who don't give a damn. Now, they always are going over my content because they don't want to hear the truth. But you're going to have to live with it one day, and you know the truth. You see the truth every day when you look in the mirror.